meet you. Oh, man. All right. Hey, thanks for being here.
My pleasure.
So you flew up from Georgia, right?
I did, yeah.
How did you wind up in Georgia? I know you're from New York originally, or New York State, right?
I couldn't deal with the cold weather anymore. I was living in the East Village before I moved down to Atlanta, and I thought, okay, winter's coming up, and it was November, and I said, I can't deal with this. So I was actually moving to Austin, Texas.
Okay.
And
the car breakdown, or?
No, and I stopped to have lunch with my old college roommate who had gone to Emory University, and he was a lawyer there, and he hatched a scheme to have me stay there, and so he got me a gig with one of his buddies, and I just ended up staying. I never left.
That's great.
27 years.
That's great. Wow. So your background, you obviously you did 2 degrees in music. You did your bachelor's degree at Ithaca, and then your master's at New England Conservatory in jazz, right?
Well, I did my undergrad in classical bass and my master's in jazz guitar, and then I went back after NEC and I taught at Ithaca College for 5 years, from 87 to 92. Then I got a publishing deal with Polygram as a songwriter, and then I started down that path.
Yeah. Talk about that a little bit, because I know that you wound up co-writing a #1 country song, right?
Many years later, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But talk about your trajectory as a songwriter, because a lot of how many of you guys are songwriters? Just so you can,
So I was, I played jazz gigs in addition to being a college professor to make extra money. And there was a recession in 1990 in Ithaca, and my jazz gigs started to dry up. And I had a buddy of mine that had played in rock bands, and he's like, hey, I want you to come over and play on a demo of mine. And I was like, I don't really play rock anymore. And he's like, no, come over and play some guitar parts. So I went and played on this demo, and there were no finished songs. He recorded it on an 8-track, reel to reel. Finished the demo, sent it out to a couple labels, and he calls me up. He says, the senior VP of Elektra Records heard the demo and loved it and wants to give us a demo deal with Elektra. So he's going to give us $5,000. And it's like, what's a demo deal? Well, he wants us to write more songs. And so we started writing songs together, and that's kind of how I got into that. And then I found it to be challenging to write songs that people actually liked.
Right. Yeah.
Or, I mean, that people, write rock songs or pop songs, or whatever you want to call it.
Right.
As opposed to being an instrumental jazz musician.
Right. Yeah. So let's talk about your trajectory in the last 5-6 years. I think the first viral video that you put out was actually you and your son, right? He has a son, Dylan, who has ears like crazy. I mean, tell us a little bit about Dylan.
So Dylan is, he's 14 now. Those viral videos were actually on Facebook before I started my YouTube channel. Yeah. And I realized Dylan had perfect pitch when he was 3, so I thought, well, I'm going to teach him about harmony. So I taught him about triads and 7th chords and modes and things like that. Yeah. Dylan just had a great memory for these things. It was like, Dylan, this chord here has a C7 sharp 9 sharp 5. Okay, I got it. So anytime you play, it's like you just think whatever it was, he knew. And the first viral video was I had a friend of mine that was producing, a country artist, and he's like, hey, make a video of Dylan so I can show it to my wife.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, and so I said, Dylan, come on down here, I want to make a video. And I was getting ready to go I was on the school board at his school. I was getting ready to go to a school board meeting. He's like, no, I don't want to. And said to my wife, I was like, just tell Dylan to come downstairs. I just want to show it to Shane's wife. And so anyways, he comes down, we do this video a minute long, and I put it on my Facebook to share it with Shane.
Yeah.
So he can show his wife. And Shane calls me a few hours later. He's like, wow, that video's got 5,000 views. I said, what? And the only people that followed me were my family. By the next night, it had 1 million views. Then it had, 18 million views, 22 million views. Yeah.
So that was actually just made for a friend. Yeah. I think we may have that video or one of the very first videos that you and Dylan did. So
here we go. That's it. Dylan has candy in his mouth.
Okay? He has candy? I love that.
He does. Okay, sing a B flat. Very good. What's this chord? I'm looking.
I mean, that's incredible. That's just incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's Dylan doing now? Is he?
Plays on the basketball team at school.
That's cool. So you guys, well, that's commendable that you didn't push him into music. You know, I mean,
Yeah, he doesn't like music.
is that right? So let's take a look at one of your early videos from the channel, so we can kind of talk about the whole process of how they've evolved and what you've learned and all that kind of stuff. So let's take a look at an
Hi
early
everybody,
video.
I'm Rick Beato. Today's Everything Music is called How the Pros Use Compression. It's how they use it on individual instruments and on the mix bus. It's coming up next. Okay, so what is compression?
That was awesome. Tell us about starting out like this, and then kind of what your trajectory has been. We'll take a look at it more recently.
So I was still producing records when I started my channel. So
Yeah.
I would, if I was getting the drum set up for a session, I'd be like, oh, how to pick the right snare for your session, right?
Right.
So
Yeah.
I do those, and then we'd be talking about compression. Oh, I'm going to make a video on compression and
Yeah.
get out the whiteboard. And
Yeah.
I always made my YouTube channel. Some of it is like classroom. I use a whiteboard.
And you've been a professor.
I've been a
before, right?
professor, yeah. So I just taught it like I would teach a class in compression.
Yeah.
But the great thing with video is that with YouTube is that you can have video and you have audio, and you can put up audio examples. And,
Right.
And so I did videos on compression, EQ, earlier in my channel, film scoring, drum tuning, things that I thought were practical things. But as you get more and more subscribers, then you have to kind of figure out a direction for the channel, because when you have 1,000 subscribers, you can make any kind of video. But when you have 2.5 million subscribers, you have a lot of people that are not musicians that follow your channel.
Right.
Because there aren't people that are interested in giant steps there's not 2 million people interested in giant steps, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So you have to adjust your content you either have to find things that appeal to big groups of people or make a lot of videos, which is
Right.
what I do. I
Yeah.
make a lot of videos because I make videos that I want to make about the topics, some of which I know will do well, although you never really know what's going to do well. And some things really surprise me.
What are some things that have really surprised you?
Well, I made this video a few months ago, the most complex pop song of all time, and it got on YouTube trending. It's got 3 million views, and it came from a conversation with an old friend of mine, Paul Smitty, and I had talked to him the night before, and we were talking about this gig we had in 1983, and we tried to learn the song "Never Gonna Let You Go" because the singer brought it in. And we're jazz guys. We're like, oh, we can listen to any pop song and figure it out in 5 minutes, right? So she starts playing it, and it goes through the intro, and it's like, wait a minute, okay, wait, and then it modulates, and then it modulates
really
22
complicated.
times,
Yeah.
yes. and then we completely botched it. He botched it the first day in front of all these kids. We were playing at the Parks Department in Rochester, and there's 200 kids out there. And the singers are looking at us. It was a duet, and they couldn't sing because we were playing all the wrong chords. So the first day, he screwed everything up, and then the second day, and I was laughing, and then the second day, I screwed everything up, and he was laughing. And when he screwed it up, I turned my guitar away so he couldn't see where I was playing.
Oh, that's cruel. That's cruel. That is cruel, man.
So we were laughing about that. I said, I'm going to make that video tomorrow.
Right. So the most complicated pop song got 3 million views.
Yeah. Well, everybody wants to know, what is the most complicated pop song?
Right.
And I think that this is, and I never saw in the comments anyone say anything about, oh, there's a more complicated one, because there really isn't.
You found it. Yeah. So talk about what are the Rick Beato's top 10 metrics for YouTube users. What are the ones that you kind of think about?
So watch time, meaning, and the audience retention is they're the two most important things. Audience retention, the longer the retention, the more viewer satisfaction there is, right? And they send out, I don't know if anyone's ever gotten a viewer satisfaction. They send out a survey on just randomly. I think I've gotten one ever. But they send them out to people. Are you satisfied with this video? And it's 1 out of 5 stars. And that determines how hard YouTube pushes your content.
Oh, interesting. Really?
Yeah, so you want to get the highest retention,
Right.
the most watch time. So you want to make videos that get at least 45 to 50% or more. Very hard to do.
Yeah. So how do you do that? How do you keep people engaged?
Well, it's different for depending on the channel. Some of the biggest channels, Mark Rober or Mr. Beast, will have, in the first minute, might have 60 different edits.
Wow. So just
60.
really, really fast.
Incredibly
keep
fast
everybody
editing for
engaged.
kids that have no attention spans.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that draws me in too, I have to say. I like learning stuff on YouTube because usually, the good videos, they're so engaging and stuff is popping up all over the place, and you can tell that people are trying to keep your attention,
Yeah, so you have to present information. So people watch your channel. Like, why do they watch your channel? Are you entertaining? Does your video have a narrative structure to it? I mean, videos that are successful have narratives to them, stories.
Yeah.
Or are you doing the impossible? Okay, so those are the three things for videos that do well or channels that do well. What is the impossible? Well, those videos, any video I did with my son Dylan,
Right.
I had a video
was
that
doing
I
the
put on
impossible.
TikTok, and Dylan recites 52 factorial, which is the amount of possible combinations of a deck of playing cards, which is an incredibly large number. It's 87-digit number. And Dylan recites that. It's got 6 million views.
Wow.
And so doing the impossible
Yeah.
gets you viral videos, right?
Gotcha.
Or having a really interesting story. So I've had, in the past year, just over a year, I've had 10 videos that made YouTube trending. So that's the top 50 videos worldwide on YouTube.
Got it.
And that has a different algorithm associated with it. That's decided on view velocity, so how fast you get a lot of views. So those are typically videos that get 500,000 to 1 million views in the first day.
Wow.
And viewer satisfaction, if people really like the videos. They have a high like ratio, or they do really well in the surveys. So if it ticks that off in the algorithm, they'll put you on the trending page. So they have 50 videos, and they usually will stay on for, sometimes a few hours. Sometimes I've had one on there for a couple days, like the pop song, Most Complicated Pop Song, was on for a couple days.
Wow. What is it about lists, top 10, top 20, this or that draws people in so much? What is
People
it?
love to know people love to see things ranked. I call them countdown videos.
Yeah.
Now, they don't always work, but they work.
I find myself watching it, and I watched yours, and after I've been watching it for 5 minutes, I'm like, why do I really care what Rick thinks is the top?
When people
and yet I still watch it. I watch the whole damn
Well,
thing.
when
just to
people
see what
complain in the thing, they think I'm saying that this is like, well, that's just your opinion. Well, of course it's my opinion. It's my channel. Whose opinion would it be,
Yeah.
I'm not taking a poll.
Exactly. But it does. It gets you to watch. It keeps you engaged.
and to me, they're the most fun videos to make, really, because you learn things.
Yeah.
Because you really think about this, the top 10 Led Zeppelin riffs.
Right.
And I'm thinking, like, what are the top 10 Led Zeppelin riffs? So usually it starts with me calling my younger brother, John. John, what do you think the top 10 Led Zeppelin videos are, or Led Zeppelin riffs are? So I usually just call my friends, like my friend Pat, and I'll ask them their opinion on this and get, what do you think about this? And
Yeah. What's a typical week like for you? How much time does it take to make each video? How many videos? Do you have a goal as to how many you get out every week or every month? Or what does it look like? What does being a YouTuber entail?
So I do 2 regular videos, and I do 1 live stream a week. So I do 12 videos a month.
Wow. So 2
Or-
videos plus a live stream.
Plus a live stream. I do the live streams on the weekends. Some videos take 24 hours to make. Some videos, like the most complex song, I did in 1 pass.
Yeah.
I just told the story as a narrative. I played the song. I had written it. I'd charted it out right before that.
Yeah.
And I just went through it, and I talked about this thing, and I told the funny story. So it was a whole narrative of the story of me and Smitty.
Yeah.
And then when people saw how confusing the song is, it was really entertaining.
Right.
So some videos are quick, some videos take a long time, and and you never know how they're going to do.
Yeah, yeah. Wow. And you do all the editing yourself?
For the most part. I have one assistant, Billy.
Okay.
Occasionally he'll do the editing. My video that I have out today, he did the editing on, and but most of the time I do the editing.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times I sit down and say, "Oh, why did you do this?" And then I ended up editing it myself anyway.
Got it. So
I work 100 hours a week. I'm not actually exaggerating.
Really? So it's 100 hours a week that you work?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So YouTube success is not one of those things where you can just say, okay, quit your job and all you got to do is crank out you got a 5-minute video. It probably takes 5 minutes to do that and throw it out there. And
Every successful YouTube channel that I know of, the people work 100 hours a week.
Yeah.
I work more than I worked as a music producer.
No kidding.
It is grueling work. I'm 59 and a half years old. You kind of have to have a screw loose to do well in YouTube. I mean, because you can never stop working.
So do
they tell you can take breaks and everything, but it's actually not true.
Wow. Yeah. So now do you put them out at the same time every week?
I put them out when they're done.
Oh, okay. Why do you think people are drawn to your
I
content?
have no idea.
I mean, you must have thought
I'm an
about
old,
it.
white-haired guy.
You're very engaging. You seem like a friendly person. You seem like somebody.
My kids might.
Okay, yeah, of course. When I was 14, I knew my father was an absolute idiot, and 10 years later, I was amazed at how much smarter he had gotten. Right. But yeah, it seems like you're friendly. You're the kind of guy that people would want to hang out with.
I don't know why people my biggest demographic is 25 to 34, which is strange. I mean, I'm, like I said, 59-year-old guy.
Yeah.
I didn't think anybody would watch me when my intern Rhett came in and said, start a YouTube channel. And I thought that people would be, I'm not going to watch some old white-haired guy on there. But I think people think that, mistakenly so, that there's some wisdom with having white hair or something. But,
in an alternate universe where you hadn't started your YouTube channel today, would you start a YouTube channel now?
I couldn't start a YouTube channel at this point at 59 and a half. I don't...
You think it's for people under 55 to start YouTube channels?
Well, if I knew what it was involved with it, would I have started? I mean, I can't even believe I've made over 900 videos.
That is amazing.
When I think about the amount of work it takes to make 900,
Yeah.
I mean, it's far harder to me. I made a lot of records over 25 years or so, and every video is like feels like making a whole record.
No kidding. Wow.
So, yeah, it's like making 900 albums.
That's amazing.
Or at least 900
Singles,
yeah. And every time you release it is like releasing a new single, except it happens every other day.
Wow.
Think about releasing a new single that you write from scratch and record every other day. That's basically what I do.
But again, that's how you get good at it, right? I mean, that's how you learn what the audience is going to respond to, and you get your finger on the pulse of what you're doing.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Hopefully you do.
Yeah. Cool. Well, listen, this has been, I've been looking forward to this ever since you said you were coming back, and I so appreciate you doing this. And,
Thanks, Stephen.
Thanks for coming and spending time with us, and thank you guys for being here as well. All right.